Southwest Omaha neighborhood this morning, and only First Alert 6 reporters were there. People who live in the Westwood Heights area tell First Alert 6 reporter John Chapman their neighborhood was loaded with police who were going in and out of this particular house.
People living near 126th Avenue and C Street were watching police take boxes out of a neighbor's garage. They even took pictures. Everyone trying to figure out what was going on.
Then I heard some more, but then I got concerned when I heard it sounded like gunshots. And there was at least 2 or 3.
A second flashbang went off and they were yelling to get into the house, and just a lot of people milling around, and they eventually let a couple guys out.
Ed Millsap was watching all the activity. He had his own ideas of what was happening.
I either thought it was something, maybe a drug bust, or somebody had done something and was, barricading themselves in the house or something like that.
Neighbors saw people in handcuffs being led into the house and people in handcuffs coming out of the house. Police on scene tell First Alert 6 this is a narcotics investigation.
Yeah, my next door neighbor lady that's been here since around 74 said this is the first time anything like this ever happened in this neighborhood.
There were a lot of other people there, maybe undercover.
Both Ed and Pat tell us things like this just don't happen in their neighborhood.
Very unusual. We just had the best Halloween that we've ever had in this neighborhood. Yeah, it was real nice. All the neighbors were out.
Ed says even though things are usually quiet around here, you never know what's going on behind any door.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
In Southwest Omaha, I'm John Chapman, First Alert 6.
Police are releasing few details about this morning's incident. They do tell us this is an ongoing narcotics investigation. Well, we